Hello and welcome to Quinnville. I'm Mars, and today, in this second video of the series, we're going to put some more of City Planner Play's suggestions into effect. If you missed the first video, you'll find a link to it in the description below, as well as the link to City Planner Play's City Tips video featuring Quinnville. Now, before we get started, there's a couple things I missed in the last video, and a couple things I noticed while preparing for today's build that I want to touch on. First of all, let's go back to Watershed, where we did a fair bit of work yesterday. It was along here. There's one of these intersections that I built this one right here, this little police court, and I forgot to turn the stoplight off on here, because when it's a two-lane 2A or a collector, the game automatically puts those in place. I got rid of it, put a regular stop sign on there, so that we're not interrupting traffic here just so a car can come out of here every once in a while. Now I need to also come down to this intersection here. We're allowing some movements that I don't like. I don't want you to be able to turn any direction from that middle lane. No right turns from there. Otherwise that lane gets stopped up while the right flows freely because hardly anyone's using it. One weird thing that was going on here, and I'll do some other stuff to make this better as well, we're having a lot of freight traffic not only coming through the middle, they're also coming through the outside lanes, and sometimes they're even stopping to drop freight off here in this passenger station. I assume it's because of the proximity of this, but absolutely cannot have that. Can't be allowed to keep going. So let's get that resolved. What we're going to do is just ban freight traffic from the outside lanes. No freight traffic, no freight traffic. Also going to pull this freight station away just a little bit. There's plenty of room between it and that road to do this, so we'll just slide it a bit. And we'll make this smooth out, okay. And it should be fine. Hopefully we won't run into that issue anymore. At the least, we should run into it less frequently. The next one is a signal over here, all the way down opposite corner of the city on Gulf Shore Drive at Silver Street. I left this signalized with a stoplight. That's not necessary. I'm going to turn that off. We're going to put a stop sign there on Gulf Shore. We want this movement here to be free-flowing, since those are the two collectors. We've only got this 2 lanes both ways for a very little bit, just to make the intersection lane work better. And then there's a little bit of a naming issue with Timberland right here. We've got the here, road names, there we go. For some reason, we got Ashton Boulevard snuck in here when it should be Timberland all the way down. Now we're going to go over to our new interchange that we built last time. Notice that sometimes we have traffic coming through here. There's no need for traffic to get off and then continue on just through the intersection. I'm going to say not allowed. Only thing you're allowed to do from that lane is turn, and likewise I'll do the same thing here. You can turn either way, but you can't go straight, and that problem is solved. I'm also tired of looking at this Harvey Highway and Adams Highway, so we're going to name these to be a little more consistent with the build and the build's location. So this is eastbound, so we're going to call this State 10 East. This one I-10 West. Oops, I need to turn the day-night cycle off. Then this other highway up here as well, we'll rename that to US Route 49 in north and south. And then I also want to change, should have done that while we were over here, this new road that we built. That shouldn't be Kathleen Street. We got to name stuff properly. So let's move Gulf Shore down to there where it follows the Gulf Shore, and we're going to change this to Veterans Way. Now, real quick before I get started on the next thing, I've got something to do so that we don't have to wait for it later. Turn that on to empty. And then same for both of these. Beautiful. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rebuild a little bit of the entry here into the city. This was the original highway entrance. My starting tile was up here in this area, and this was all highway coming all the way up. And at one point in the city, I gave it a road diet. Once I came over to this island, I realized that it wasn't doing me any good having the highway blocking things up in the middle of the build anymore. So I brought that down. But what we have is this massive interchange coming into here. We're just going to shrink it up just a little bit to give us room for a new interchange only for people entering and exiting the city off of Prospect Street. So I'm going to go ahead and let it run, much to my usual chagrin. I am definitely a pauser, but I understand that it's better for everybody watching. You can see stuff going by. I'm going to be quiet and take care of some stuff. Okay, so we've got this thing built to begin with. Now, we have to get rid of that. That's going to be a standard road, just like the rest of this place. We'll have to upgrade another section to connect the bike network in. So instead of coming down Tucker here, it's going to come down Piper to meet up with it. And also, since we've already got it on Dixon, I'm going to complete it all the way up to Snapdragon. For this part, since I'm going to rebuild a little bit of this interchange, I am going to pause. Okay, got that built. Now we're going to change some of our sizes here, because we need to keep our lane mathematics in place. Perfect. Now that should work just fine, and let us get the build moving again. We come in, we're going to build this. I'm going to use these. I found I like using these little one-laners instead of the highway ramps, because the highway ramps just don't snap very well to angle or anything. And this will allow me to do that. So let's come right in with this. Off here. In. Now I have them in place. Let's change those into highway ramps. And I'm going to mark this stuff up, get the TMP settings correct on here. So I don't want, let's do our markings first so we know exactly what we're looking at. Which means node controller first. One of these days I'll get to the right item I want to start with. Okay, and I'm going to also convert up a small section of each of these so that I have some lanes to get off of. I don't want that to be super close. Let's make ourselves a new node right there. love the ability with Node Controller to line these up more appropriately. I always forget I can do that. But I don't want this node over that far. That's better. Now that that's all done, let's get our lane restrictions in place. We don't want anybody moving in weird ways. We should be all set, everything flowing appropriately. I want to change my naming here. It's good to there. That one needs to be fixed. Prospect Street should continue on the bridge. Let's name that after an older, not an older, a previous historically important person in the town, we'll say. Call this the Theon Bridge. There's a name that will come up again at some point, I assure you. Now some other cleanup stuff we have to do. I want to get these bike markings correct on here. I like to have them continue. Now what I'm doing now with this, I have some templates I've saved from other places where I've marked this up in the city. So I'm going to apply the template of bike path centerline. Now it looks more like the markings on the rest of that path. Same thing, I've also got a filler, so I'll hold Alt to make that. And then we want to apply the bike path green to there. Perfect. Also, get these markings in. And then I can copy the whole thing, stick it right in there. And I don't have to touch it any further. One issue that we're going to have, there was a bus route that had a stop on this stretch of Dixon, so we'll have to move that. Looks like it moved of its own accord. It definitely used to be right there. As long as we're in here doing some upgrading and such. Noticed some directionality screw-ups here on the bike path here, so get that fixed. We should match up again. Let's get our road naming correct through here. So we have East Timberland Avenue. So this is going to be East Timberland Avenue westbound. And this will be East Timberland Avenue eastbound. And it should go just to there. We don't need the whole thing, whole ramp showing names. It's back there. Perfect. Now some touch-up stuff. Our fencing was interrupted here. Let's get that back in place. I also see a pillar that we managed to lose here. Looks like that one's untouched. Man, that fit in perfectly, didn't it? I couldn't have done that better if I designed it that way. Check our zoning here. Just squeeze another house in there. And we'll fill our trees up here a little bit, especially in this section where the road used to go. Love this thing, forest brush. I've just got a mix of the vanilla trees that were found in the build to begin with in a proportion that I like. Paint it right in, and we are good to go. Traffic will absolutely be helped by this. It's going to take a lot of pressure off, some pressure off the right-hand movements from here, but the real big one is going to be the left-hand movements from here and the left-hand movement here. A lot of that's going to be using this coming through here instead of using our big intersection there. It's not going to make a huge difference, but it will make a difference, as you will be able to tell by the amount of traffic we have using these. Again, not a ton. Well, certainly plenty coming in that way, though. And, some feeding these neighborhoods as well. So, all a good change. Now, before we get any further in, it's time for today's neighborhood focus, which is a new thing that I'm going to be doing. Since you've been kind enough to join me here, I think it's time to let you in on a little bit more of Quinnville's story. To recap what you may already know from Quinnville's City Tips episode, the city was founded by Arthur Quinn in the mid to late 1800s. Local legend claims Mr. Quinn won the rights to a ranch on what is now Quinnville's northern island in a game of cards. The neighborhood of Quinn's Bluff was supposedly named after a pivotal moment in that game. Now, the city has grown immensely since those days, but the majority of the northern industrial core up here looks much like it did 50 years ago. Sandwiched in between and among the old Briarwood Lumber Company and the more recent but still aged Warwick Minerals is a mishmash of various industries and aging city services. Take a look and see that in here. Just a bunch of industry, just like he showed you on the video. A ton of power infrastructure, landfills, wastewater, all just right here in what was our old town core. At one point this all made sense, but it really doesn't anymore. This Copper Heights area is rather poorly defined. Now, the city is still working with these two industrial giants on freeing up their land, but much more can be done with the smaller businesses, and of course with all the city-owned service buildings. Today we're going to begin construction on a brand new city services center to the west of the railway. You'll remember we built the railway station over there the last episode, which should free up not only some of the old industrial core, but several other pockets of service buildings around the city that used to be isolated, but now sit in close proximity to residential neighborhoods or world-class parks. This will let the city relocate many of its old service buildings, bringing them up to modern standards in the process, and hopefully leave room enough for a new industrial district to accompany the rezoning of Timberland and Copper Heights here. And that'll free up the heart of this old industrial sector. So first thing I need to do, we need this to not be a cul-de-sac if we're going to be putting anything back here. And oh, we have a lot to put back in here. We're going to use our industrial road because that's industry and city services, maybe a handful of commercial, is all we're going to have back here. Turn on terrain so I can see what I'm working with. And we are going to flatten some of this out, but I still want to try to be kind to the area I'm working in here. What we're going to aim to do is we're going to tie this into this roundabout, and that's going to take some fiddling. I have to move this billboard out of the way, and I'm going to have to lower the rail a bit more so I can put a bridge over it. We definitely don't want this corridor intersecting, having an at-grade crossing with the rail there. No, that's not going to work height-wise, but that's why we're going to mess with things. Oh yeah, we got quite a ways to go. What we're watching for is make sure that catenary is all underneath. I'd say it certainly looks like it. I could even go up. There we go. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Now, we'll have this bridge come out and tie in to this, then we'll do a little reconstructing and regrading along here. note, that's not going to work. We still have to have some lift here. Should do. And that's a bit better. Let's fix this node while we're here. What we need to do is get in here and ban crossings. That should fix it. I'm not sure why it would even put crosswalks through the highway like that, but it did, so we'll resolve it. Of course, we want to allow trucks to continue through and make sure our signals are correct for the roundabout. There we go. I'm also going to mark this up correctly. Okay. Now, I've decided on a name other than Station Street for this. We're going to use Electric Way. Let's tie into the, we got this called Diesel Drive, but after the energy source for trains, so we'll call this Electric Way as another possible one they can use. Plus, we're going to have some power facilities over here. All work out real nice. All the way back into that roundabout. You can tell we've got some cleanup to do. Not sure why that didn't go away on its own, but we'll fix it. Okay, now to finish our work with train over here, or the tracks, I should say. Need to rebuild this too. I don't like how that wiggles. And in fact, I'm going to bring that all the way back. I'm going to tie that into there much more smoothly. Oops, I do need to stop, or it's going to really mess up our train traffic. I hope I didn't break anything. Still going to pull that a little bit further away here. Perfect. Now let's get this cleaned up around here a little bit. Excellent. And I'm going to need pipes all the way back through here. And I should be able to get playing again since we fixed the rail. With the increased traffic we're going to have back here, we're going to need to have an asymmetrical exit in place. So convert two segments, flip those around. And I'm also going to signalize this, otherwise we just get this massive backup. And I would like to have it be just a stop sign, but it backs up way too far, even with this adjustment that we made. A few stops along here, but they're all pretty necessary, unfortunately. We have quite a bit of work to do moving stuff around. Show you what we're looking at in electricity. We've got these 3 geothermal plants, and that really doesn't even fit with this area. Got some incinerators over here. Water, we've got these 2 wastewater facilities. We want to get out of this area. And then a good bit of garbage processing is in here as well. The 2 landfills, a couple of recycling centers. These 2. So we must have something for power other than incinerators. What are you? Oh, that is an incineration plant. Ah, it blended in with that recycling center to my eyes. Fair enough. So we're going to get a lot of this stuff moved out of here. Let me get started on that. Now, in order to put it in place, I'm going to do some things. Start off, get us some roads in place. To work off of. Got all my guidelines on. Perfect. Be as close to that rock as I can be without hurting anything. won't let me go any further that way, so we'll have to go right there. And bear with me, you'll see what I'm getting to here in a minute. I do have some ideas with what I'm putting in here. We're going to start with electricity. Put in a new solar plant. Now each of those geothermals will do 80 megawatts. This does 112 to 160, but I have way over capacity, so I'm just going to stick one of these here and I'm going to call it good. This is going to be solar way. We'll take out those 3 geothermal plants here. And our electricity production still perfectly fine. This road in place. I know there's more going back here, so I might as well get my water pipes under the roads. Right now, I need to get these water facilities moved over here. So I'm going to put those in here, but I'm going to put them facing the rail rather than along electric way here. There's going to be enough that I'm going to have to stick onto electric way, so I'm going to avoid it where I can. The way I'm going to do that is put this into place here. Don't like the angle that's at. There we go. That's the guideline I want. And as I like to do, I'm going to save this rock by moving it away. Stick it in here with the other one. This I know I want to continue for quite a ways, and where I want to tie it in is right up here. So I'm going to pull that back. Doesn't want to give me that guideline, so let's do a straight segment first. Probably get away with it right about here. Perfect. I'm going to straighten that out a little bit more because I want to have as much good building space down here as I can get my hands on. Just a tiny bit more is space I can put to use. Into our water. Whoa, our water. Oh, I know what's going on. I think I killed power supply out here, and I hope I've not murdered the city in the meantime. Let's get that fixed right now. As a matter of fact, we're going to put this in a completely different spot here. We'll just tie it in to the university area. And eliminate this line here altogether. We're going to be doing a lot out here. We don't need this getting in the way. This is separated too. Nothing's tying it in, so we've lost some of our electric capacity. I am causing all sorts of havoc with my city right now. Well, let's get this fixed as well, and we can do that by taking our next step. So we need our water treatment facilities. I know that those are advanced, not the eco-advanced, just the regular advanced. And I'm not too concerned about the pollution because there's nothing close enough here to cause any issues with that. So let's just drop a couple of those in place. We'll also tie in our electricity. You know, I might as well add another one because I know there's some water facilities elsewhere that I want to get rid of as well. And I just put everything on the road that I did not want to put it on. So let's flip all these around. Now this should work out fine. In keeping with our theme, let's change this one to Steam Street. And now we can get things moving, and I will get these connected up to the water network. Go back and remove these two in the Copper Heights area. There we go. Now things look like it should. Let's see if we can get rid of those landfills now. Go into our garbage processing view here. That one's not going to let me. That one will. Now I've got 2 recycling centers, 3 incinerators, a landfill. I'm not going to worry much about the landfill. And we're going to watch our garbage processing status carefully because I don't want to put any incinerators over there. It's too close to that river, and it's rather close to the neighborhood on the other side. I'm going to try and fix this with recycling centers and the storage capacity with a couple of waste transfer facilities. So let's come in and do all that. I want one of these down here. We'll put the other one up here someplace. I've got to tie this road in first. I have some more things that I want to put on it. So let's get that built here. And there we go. It's naming. Hate when that thing blocks the node so you can't grab the end of the line. A couple waste transfer facilities in place, and I need also some recycling centers. Now let's see how far out those are. These are 4 deep. I'm going to build some roads to put these on. Maximize our space in here. And one more time. Probably going to end up putting that waste transfer facility up here somewhere. I'm going to grade this out right now, give us a little bit more room to work with all the way around. All right. And we'll have to put our waste transfer center in over here, like I said. Ah, excellent. It will let me do that. And that looks terrible. We're not going to leave it. You know what? I'm going to see if I can't get it in here on Steam Street. I definitely cannot. Not the way it's built. Okay. I need to bring over some of our fire helicopter depots as well, but I need to get rid of our trash first, so, or our old trash facilities, I should say. I'm going to watch my processing status, because I am going to get rid of more capacity than I added in over there. Looks like we are just fine for now. Let's see how far along this is. Good, we're getting close. As soon as I can bring that over, I absolutely want to. Got this fire helicopter depot. I am going to leave this one here. We need some coverage all over the city. That does not mean that I can't add some in over here. I'm also going to move this one in from the university area over here. I'm just going to build 2 of these right now. I'm going to bring a road across here, and we're going to use enough space vertically. These are going to serve us well, and get this one out of here. And I'm going to get this one down here going as well. I gave you a little preview of some other stuff we're going to work on. We got some things that I want to move from that southern area, and I already know what we've got down there, but let's take a look anyhow. So we have this Eco-Inland Water Treatment Plant. I've already replaced that capacity because we took the 2 out of the Old Town area, and I built 3. Both of those 2 facilities combined, since they were both eco facilities, don't have the capacity of that one regular advanced inland. I'll just get rid of both of them, call it good. We also over here have a road maintenance depot that I'm going to replace. Got a park maintenance facility that I'm going to replace. There's a taxi depot, I think, in here someplace. Ah, yeah, here's another recycling center. I'm leaving that waste transfer facility, but I'm not leaving this recycling center in here. That's getting pretty touch and go there. I'm going to have to add more in, and soon, of that. Let's get started on what we know we need for sure. So we need a road maintenance depot. In roads all the way over here. It's always a tricky one for me to locate. Let's see where I can sneak this in here. That won't look too bad in there. That works very nicely. Okay. And I need a park maintenance facility. That's going to be a big one. Oh, I forgot to rename these. In honor of our recycling facilities. Flattened out some more. Oops. That's a little better. It's odd. I'm trying to grab this and bring it out, but it doesn't seem to want to fill in. There it goes. I used the wrong road. Get that upgraded to our industry road there. Pull this across. I'm going to tie that into Rotor Way. That'll give me some space to work with. Now that park maintenance facility is a big one. It's going to be... Here we go. Oh, it's just barely too big to fit in here as it is. So we're looking at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 long. So 2, 4, 8, 10, 12, 14. Should be able to come straight up through here. And then... Oh, I did not go far enough. somehow we have gotten crooked. There we go. Must have gotten rotor way off, or one of these streets is not quite straight. We'll just have to live with it. Okay, so now with those two, we'll free up some more room down here. See what we've got left. We got a post office, got the waste transfer facility, which I'm going to leave. Some parking, which we'll deal with later. Some of this is necessary. You got this taxi depot. I'm definitely going to move that. Actually, put a couple in over here. Yeah, let's cram them in here. Move it to slide these down to this end, so I've not taken up that oddly zoned space. I've got good, useful zoning in here left and available. Do want to get a couple more recycling facilities. Need to, really. So let's do that. You in as close as we can with move it. Keep our naming intact. One thing I noticed earlier, down here during near this recycling facility we nixed earlier. There we go. One little weirdly zoned space of industrial. You don't need to be there. Go away. We don't need this neighborhood getting any polluting influences in. We're going to do something, or at least put a nice neighborhood into here, if nothing else, because we've got this beautiful, beautiful animal sanctuary right here. Let's give the people a nice place to live right here along the water and near the animal sanctuary. It'd be a great place for a residential neighborhood. There's one more taxi depot that I want to move. One in here by this passenger station. I don't need any extra trips being generated in here. We've already got the station itself. So, bye-bye. Let's put you back in here as well. Use a little anarchy and stuff this one in there. That'll work just fine. And I have one more thing I want to do before we rezone. We're going to have some serious loading on either end of Electric Way here before we even touch anything out here. And take a look. Got a lot of traffic in and out. And a fair bit of traffic in and out over here. I don't want all of that loading on just those 2 points. We really need another point of connectivity in here. So I'm going to take Solar Street here, and we're going to bring that into Watershed as another option to get in and out of this area. What we're going to have to do that is by going underground. Fortunately, it looks like this rail line is low enough that we can come in over it. The metro line, I should say. It's not going to let me keep that guideline all the way, so we can bring it into here. Huh, that's very strange. Let's get that fixed. Perfect. And then I'm going to bring this tunnel in a little closer on either side. Oops. Make sure we're keeping ourselves straight here. I lost it. Bring my node back. There we go. And that should be good. Oops. Call that Solar Street all the way through. You'll find that's going to let quite a bit of pressure off either end without causing too much of a hassle down here. Though I do need to make sure this isn't just this regular stop sign. I'm also going to prioritize electric going through here. That's where all the action's going to be at. The more I look at this, the less I like how close steam is. Pull that out a little bit from solar. Perfect. And nothing I need to worry about over on this end. Excellent. Let's see what that did for us. Yeah, there's quite a bit of traffic coming through here and using that. That's going to help us a lot. Oh, especially getting all this freight traffic off of either of our major junctions here. That almost might end up being too popular. We'll have to keep our eye on it and make sure that that's not going to cause us more problems than it solves. That is a whole lot of truck traffic coming through there. I did do a test build of this, but when I did it, I wasn't able to tie directly straight across, and I had to do a kind of a curve here. And I think lengthening that made less traffic interested in using it. Because I can already tell that's causing us issues. Well, let's see if we can't make it work anyway. I don't know how much traffic is coming through there to turn north. Not very much. But what there is, we can give another means of getting through. And that will help us out. That's quite a bit that we've got done, and we have quite a bit of room available to us. So let's get some roads built out in here so that we can move our industrial over. Okay. Let's give myself more land. Get rid of everything but angles so I can bring this in as close as possible. Right. I am actually going to do a couple of those, considering we've still got space available. It's acting like it wasn't dead 90 degrees there. Odd. Oh well. Sometimes you just have to live with wonkiness. And we got a little bit of it in here too. Oh, I have an idea what I want to do. I am going to disable zoning along this road here. Now, I hate losing this, but I think it's better not to have any of that stuff loading directly onto what's going to be a pretty busy local road-sized street. Let's see, I'm going to turn that off so we don't cause ourselves any problems. Turn everything else back on. And give ourselves a little bit more zoning area to work with. I don't like it too much. Too many crammed into too close of space. Let's get our naming all fixed up. Alright, everything else looks good. I know it's not a need, but we're about to remove a fair bit. Let's get this all zoned in. You know what? I'll leave that area right there alone. And I'm okay with having stuff loading here, just not having it loading directly across from the station there. Before I forget, let's get all of our signaling fixed again. Yep. Let's leave this be for now. We may need to put some more stuff in here at another time. We go D-zone over here. Now I'm leaving timberland alone. That's all specific forest industry to mix in as part of Briarwood Lumber Company, so that it looks like a more complete campus. So I'm not going to get rid of that today, but we will clear out the rest of that in here, and we are going to have this beautiful new open area that we can do all sorts of things with available to us. Now I think that's about enough. We've been at this for quite a while, so I'm going to call it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll get to see you again soon, and enjoy the taxi ride. Thanks. But before we get to that, this is me from the future coming in with a little change. I forgot to pipe in after I finished all this, so we've got a lot. Well, not a lot, but we've got a little bit of stuff that has not been properly handled. So let's get the water to these facilities back here. I'm also going to preemptively run a line on this road as well. And that should get us handled. Now everything should be watered appropriately, so we don't have any issues. Thank you, as always, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.